Let's talk about the emotion no one likes to admit they feel. Jealousy. Not envy, not admiration, not inspiration. Jealousy. The one that burns your chest, that spikes your thoughts, that makes you suddenly hate someone you used to like. It's ugly, it's shameful, and it's powerful. But more than anything else, jealousy is hidden. You pretend you don't feel it. You reframe it. You joke about it. You say, "Oh, I'm happy for them." But you're not. And that silent shame becomes the most dangerous emotional mould in your life. Jealousy is like the mould behind beautiful wallpaper. On the surface, you keep everything looking pretty, nice, fine, supportive. But underneath, it's festering. And if you don't strip it back and deal with the damp underneath, it spreads. It spreads into your self-esteem, into your friendships, into your sense of identity, and suddenly you're resenting people for the things you won't even allow yourself to want. So let's look at where jealousy really comes from. Here's what no one really tells you. Jealousy isn't bitterness, it's grief. The grief of watching someone else live out the life you believe impossible for you. It's not even about them, it's about what you think you can't have. That's the poison. That's why it hurts. Because somewhere along the line, you built a belief that said, that level of love isn't for me. That kind of success is for people like them. I'll never be that confident and free, that desired, that celebrated. And so when you see someone living it, you don't just feel jealous, you feel left behind. And if you're not aware of it, jealousy becomes the steering wheel for everything. So let's look at the cost of unacknowledged jealousy. Unspoken jealousy is a relationship killer, a dream killer, a confidence killer. You push away people you admire. You sabotage friendships. You dismiss possibilities. You mock what you're secretly dying to experience. And all the while, it stays in shadow because you're ashamed. You're ashamed to want it. Ashamed to admit it. Ashamed to feel like you don't measure up. But until you bring it into the light, it rules you. So let's look at some tips on to how to break the cycle. Firstly, own it. Literally say the words, "I feel jealous of that." Say it to yourself. Say it in a journal. Say it out loud, because when you name it, it loses power. Then secondly, ask yourself what the jealousy is pointing to, because jealousy is a map. It shows you where your deepest unmet desires live. It says, this is what you want, but you're afraid to ask for. This is what you crave, but you think you'll be judged for. This is what you admire, but you won't let yourself imagine having it. Use it. Don't repress it. Jealousy is your shadow self trying to speak. So let's reframe from shame to signal. Instead of shaming yourself, start listening to it like a message from your soul. Why does this person trigger me? What belief am I holding that makes their success feel like my failure? Where did I learn that there's not enough to go around? Because that's what jealousy is rooted in, scarcity. Not enough love, not enough attention, not enough success. But it's a lie. You weren't made to watch life pass you by. You weren't born to sit on the sidelines and smile while dying inside. You were meant to use those pangs of jealousy as fuel, as clues, as fire. So my final reframe, jealousy isn't who you are, it's where you're still hurting. It's not a flaw, it's a flag. It's waving to show you where you gave up on yourself. Where you closed the door on possibility, where you started to believe that joy, love and freedom and abundance were for everybody else. But here's the truth. You're not toxic. You're not broken. You're not bitter. You're just scared that there's not enough life left for you to get what you truly want. But there is. There always was. You just forgot. And jealousy? That was the alarm clock. You're not toxic. You're trapped under a belief that says someone else's gain is your loss. It isn't. It never was. There's room, there's time, and there's more than enough. Take the mould off the walls and start rebuilding your life on truth, not shame. You're allowed to want more. That's not jealousy. That's called clarity.